Hello everybody, my name is Lauren Dannemeller and this is
Coach Kyle.
And we are the coaches at TeamCosmicBodies. Thank you so much for listening and watching today. We go over a bunch of topics here in the bodybuilding world and just general wellness, nutrition, and training. So today's question is, what was it again?
Oh, the question? Okay, yeah. So some tips maybe for a first-time competitor, or you're wanting to compete and you've never competed before and you're like wanting to get into it.
I definitely think it's really important to have a coach, somebody to guide you, somebody that you trust, you have a good relationship with, you've been working with each other for some time now before starting the prep, so you've created like a good bond. I think that's really important. You're getting ready for the stage here first time.
Yeah, and you just want someone who has the experience and can be objective for you. Mm-hmm. And because even if you do know a lot about fat loss in the process, I do think it's nice to have someone looking at you objectively, whether it's photos or video or how much you weigh and stuff like that, and just kind of having the right strategy in place. So yes, hiring a coach or having a friend look at your stuff is definitely worth it, especially when you get really lean and it's hard to be objective. Mm-hmm. So hiring a coach is huge.
Yeah, and just really making sure you're doing this for the right reasons too. You're doing this show and this prep because you want to push yourself, you want to challenge yourself. Maybe you're an athlete, previously, and you're ready to take on the next step and challenge.
Yeah, so what are some tips? Like if we had some tips for a first-time competitor other than just the coach, what are some tips?
Giving yourself plenty of time, too, to get ready for the stage. This is something you can't do in 12 weeks, 10 weeks. And what's really cool about being an amateur is there's so many shows. There's so many NPC shows. Like we're over here in Florida. There's a show every weekend. So that's what's really cool about competing in the NPC. You don't have to, pick that one show that happens once, whatever. It's a huge show.
Or like a pro, right? Like if you're a pro or
yeah,
whatever, and this is your livelihood, then you kind of have that timing where you have to time it perfectly. So it's definitely a good tip is giving yourself enough time and maybe just starting. Just start dieting and cutting, and as you get leaner, maybe you have a rough draft plan of like, okay, this is the shows that are the next 16 to 30 weeks. And you kind of can just go from there and start cutting, and then just when you get ready, there's probably a show coming up. So it's nice.
And if you're on the fence about like doing it too, I say just go for it and compete and do it, because it's just, even myself, I don't look at my first contest prep photos very often. Like and it's cool because when you finally do get to the stage, you just like know what you need to work on. Like I remember my first show, I knew exactly what I needed to work on, which is really cool. You can really like build off of your physique and everything like that. But yeah, even today, I'm not showing those pictures a lot. So I think it's just, you really do need to just go ahead and go for it.
So some other tips for a first-time competitor would be hire the coach, give yourself enough time, and then also just kind of, be okay with making some mistakes, because you probably are going to make some mistakes, and your coach might make some mistakes. Like you make some mistakes together, but yeah, just learning from them and getting better. And it's kind of a you versus you scenario too. A lot of times you are looking up to people, you're comparing yourself to others, you're inspired by others, which is great. But yeah, they just might have a different background. They might be doing this a lot longer, have different genetics. So just everyone's different. So you kind of really want to stay focused on just bringing your best possible physique you could possibly bring. Like don't expect to kind of build muscle randomly and look like a pro up there. Like just bring your best possible physique that you could bring in a certain amount of time. It's
hard now because of social media. Like I remember when I first got into bodybuilding, I didn't know who was showing up at my shows. I didn't know pros. I was just doing this because I truly wanted to go down this route. So yeah, it is hard nowadays getting into the sport and competing. There is a lot of comparison. You can literally know who's going to be showing up at your show too because of Instagram. So that's really big. You just really have to kind of disconnect yourself with that and bodybuilding is a you versus you. People say it all the time. It really is, though.
And that kind of goes back to doing it for the right reasons, too. It's like just wanting to push yourself and setting goals and accomplishing them.
It takes a different mentality, too, because you're about to really get to this extreme level of conditioning and leanness. Yeah, just be aware, making sure you have a good relationship with food.
Yeah, having good habits beforehand.
Having good habits, because you will look at yourself differently after a prep.
Yeah.
You know, definitely, first show, getting that level of leanness. Yeah, you will never look at your body kind of the same because you do get so lean. So these are just things to be aware of too.
Yeah. And that goes back to having a good coach.
Having a good coach.
Because it'll help you with that mindset stuff, those habits. Definitely. So.
Yep. Have a good post-show plan.
Yeah.
Really good post-show plan, first-time competitor. Honestly, when
when
we're working with competitors for the first time, we're already talking about how we're going to exit the prep and like go into the improvement season. So.
Yeah, and going back to do it for the right reasons is I wouldn't be doing the contest prep for a pro card, for necessarily like first place. I mean, obviously it might help motivation, and it's good to have that mindset of winning and bringing your best, and just the champion mindset is real, so it's good to have that for the whole prep. But yeah, maybe also in a realistic form, you're like, hey, I want to master the process. I want to make sure I look the part up there, have good posing, but also I do well after like she's talking about post show and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's all very huge, because there's a lot of losses in bodybuilding, right? Like you could be prepping and getting ready for this show for years, months, and then you don't place the way you do, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with
maybe you brought something amazing and it's their best ever, but then you're sitting there drastically thinking about, oh, I didn't win or whatever. I didn't get the pro card. And it's like, well, you really did do amazing though. So it's, again, nice to have that support system to help you be like, hey, focus on this stuff. You're making all these wins.
Yeah. There's so many more wins than just winning first place.
Yeah. There's more than placing for wins for sure. So, all right. Yeah. Just make sure you comment, subscribe, let us know what you want to see on these kind of informative team page YouTube videos. So anyway.
Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.